start the hour with the international desk. Lance Claasen, the acting international news editor, joins us for that. Lance, busy week ahead?
Oh, very much so. There are a couple of things that happened last week. And the first thing is that part of Modi's visit to India, from India to China. And that was one of the significant ones when he went to meet with the Chinese premier and with the Russian president in China.
Yeah, of course, that didn't make Trump very happy when he saw a photo of Modi walking behind Xi Jinping, Kim Jong-un, and Vladimir Putin. And he tweeted about Modi saying that I hope they have a prosperous future together. And it seems like Modi maintains that they've got good relations with the US and hopes to enjoy that. How does that play itself out?
I think he was doing a bit of politicking over there. The relations have been a bit fraught since Trump introduced 50% tariffs on China. And Trump has been reaching out to Modi. He phoned him 4 times, evidently, and 4 times Modi rejected that call. Then, as part of the political pageantry that took place, where he went to China, held hands with Putin, drove in the same car as Putin, and tweeted about it, and made sure that Trump got to see it. But there's also something more substantive that has taken place. Even though China and India are part of BRICS, and they've been seen as allies as part of the South-South configuration for a long time, they are not on the best of terms. China is the biggest supplier of arms to Pakistan. And Pakistan and India don't get along. They haven't even played a test match in each other's countries for decades now. And that's just on the sporting front. But also, they've had border disputes. Just in 2020, China lost 20 soldiers. China lost 4 soldiers, and they were shelling one another. And now to make the significant move to say, we are going with probably the biggest population bloc in that the Shanghai Cooperation Organization has 80% of the world's population. So when China and India get together, and you have a population of 2 billion, 2.5 billion, what message does that send to the world? That they don't care for the West. And that's what the message that's been sent, specifically to Trump.
Has Putin become the Cinderella of international geopolitics? Because Trump and Modi seems to be contesting for the heart and mind of Putin collectively. I mean, when Putin and Trump met in Alaska, Trump put on a big show. And of course, when Putin and Modi met in visiting Xi Jinping in China, there was a big show about that. And Trump sort of felt like his best friend has been taken away from him by his other presumed best friend. Is Putin the Cinderella of international geopolitics?
It's difficult to say, because Putin is a suave, smart operator. He managed to land in the States, and remember, he's facing the same kind of ICJ charges that Netanyahu is facing. And no one's arrested him, and he can travel all over the world. The Russian economy is not doing well, so he's looking for trade agreements. What Putin didn't come out with, he didn't come out with a trade agreement with China. And that might have been a bit of a blow to him. With Russia, India's had close relations for a long time because they're the biggest supplier of arms to India. And also, they're said to be using India as a means to get Russian oil out of. So the Indians buy the Russian oil because they're not under sanction, and then they export it to the world. So the India's making money as a gateway for Russian fuel. They're close already. It's the real relationship is between Xi Jinping and Putin. How long can they keep this going? But one thing's for sure: India, Russia, and India and China are much closer now than they were 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, certainly. So evidently. So what else are you taking a look at this week?
So we're taking a look at what's taking place in the flotilla, the Sumit flotilla with many South Africans.
Docking today in Tunis?
They're docking today in Tunis. They might be moving in a few days' time towards the Gaza border. They are not, I don't think they're going to make it to Israeli waters. The last time they tried this, 200 kilometers out, the Israelis stopped them. The Israelis have already classified the Israeli defense minister, Israeli national security minister rather, has classified them as terrorists.
Of course.
Yes, and that's just purely humanitarian because the people aboard, Mandla Mandela is getting on board today in Tunis. I think there's going to be a press conference now, so we're going to try and get hold of the teams that's on board this ship. This is also in conjunction with the operation that's supposed to take place in Gaza City today, in this week. There's been a call-up of Israeli Defense Force reserves. This has unleashed an immense amount of protests across Israel. Netanyahu doesn't have 100% of the Israeli population with him. And not only have the Israeli population, some of the hostages' families are protesting against it. They said there should be a diplomatic solution rather than a military solution. Last week there was 100,000 protesters in Tel Aviv itself. So
it seems like Netanyahu's popularity amongst his core base is eroding as well, as there's a delay.
Remember, he's in power through a coalition of...
A fractious coalition.
Yes, and this coalition is very fragile, and so he has to keep the right-wingers in that coalition, the right-wing parties, on side, because if they don't have him on, if they don't get him on side, he could lose power, and he has to have power because he's facing charges of corruption. Yeah. So he has to be in, like similar to what Trump is facing, is that if they don't stay in power, they might go to jail, and the prospects are real.
Yeah, we're going to have to leave it there. Lance Claasen, thank you so much for that. Acting International News Editor here at the SABC.